Typical.
Make the big comeback, disadvantaged. That's why I'm 5 seconds off the pace. Fucking new.
See you, Tom.
These fucking cars do not like curbs, though.
What car are you driving?
McLaren.
Hey, Brendan. All walls.
Yeah, that's true.
Thanks, Josh.
Oi, oi, oi.
Jesus, you got any good just then?
Yeah, what's up?
Please get out of the way, Kenny. Can't hold up coming in.
Ah. Take me with you, Julesy.
on, Ellie. Watch out, Cade.
Jesus. The brake pedal's the one in the middle, mate.
Model's on a flight simulator, sorry.
Well, if you are just joining us, welcome to RaceKraft Simulations for round 3 of the GT3 Championship for the SRT Trackmasters Academy. As we go to Bathurst this week with a monster field, we are stacked with 25 plus drivers out to play tonight here at RaceKraft Simulations. It is going to be an absolutely huge one, and I cannot wait to bring you the action. With 10.5 minutes left in qualifying, Alex Zani is the fastest man on track right now with a 2:02.843 as the time to beat V-Race 1, I believe, of Cameron Edwards on a 2:03.991. There is a second between Zani and Edwards. It is going to be an epic. Bathurst will be an incredibly hard task tonight with damage turned on and everyone trying to set a fast lap during qualifying. 9.5 minutes left to go. We follow along with Andrew Lachlan right now, 9th in the order on a 2:05.948 with the very beaten and battered McLaren GT3. He pulls up to a stop as well. We'll grab Cade Bell as he comes out from underneath the High-Tech Oils bridge down into the final corner to have a tilted another lap. He's on a 2:07.09. We're going to go on board. Not that on board. We're going to go inside the cockpit and experience a lap of Bathurst with Cade Bell as he comes out of turn 1 and starts to head up the hill. Following along with Cade Bell at the moment as he resets to the pit lane. What do you do that to me for, Cade? We'll pick up with Tom Hamlin as he comes out of Forest Elbow and starts his long transition down Conrod Straight, touching up over 200 k's an hour. We're going to top out in McLaren, I think just a smidge around 270 kilometers per hour at 250. He heads under the Challenge Bathurst sign at 265, topping out in 6th gear, 272 before he turns it into the chase. On the brakes at around the 150 marker and down changing through the gears through the 21st and 22nd corners of this fantastic 6.213 kilometres of Mount Panorama Circuit in Bathurst, New South Wales. Down through the gears again around Murray's Corner and onto the main straight. He's going to run it down the line, and we'll see if he can improve his lap time this time across. And he will not at this stage. He'll kick off another lap here and head up out of Hell Corner. This is where we picked up with Cade Bell a moment ago. We'll follow along with Tom. He's enjoying himself at the helm of RK6, rocking the new Sim Magic M10, a direct drive wheelbase with the Huiskenveld sprint pedals on board as well. As he comes out of Griffin's Bend, uses all of the road, a little touch up at the curbing on the exit, on the run towards the cutting, a dab at the brake, down changing as he transitions through the turn at turn 3 at the cutting, tuck it in right up against the wall as hard as you can and up towards Quarry Corner. The understeer can catch you here at the top of Quarry Corner as you go through turn 6, and you can slap the outside wall at 7. Through Reed Park, there's a McLaren flying off the track there as we go through Frog Hollow and up Solomon Park into McPhillamy. Before we make a run towards Skyline, this is the most iconic part of the circuit here. Across the top, the car gets unweighted, on the brakes, down to 3rd, 2nd, maybe even touching on first gear here as we come in through the S's. The run through the dippers and the run out towards Forest Elbow now. This last right-hander before we jump on the brakes, pull it across to the right-hand side, tuck it into the corner and start to pick up the throttle as early as we can for the long run down Conrod Straight. Tom Hamlet trying to set a faster time to move himself further up inside the top 10 in qualifying here with 5 minutes and 35 to go. The RaceKraft Simulations League Night brought to you by the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT3 Championship. This is round 3 from Mount Panorama International Circuit. Down onto the brakes again through the chase as we round out the back end of the lap here for Tom Hamlet. Alexani's the fastest on track. He's got a 2:02.84 as we'll pick up with Alec for a little while longer as he heads across the top, just coming out of the dipper on the run towards Forest Elbow. With 5 minutes and nothing left in the session for qualifying before we get foot ready for a massive half-an-hour long race. The carnage is definitely going to come. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I'm going to put bets on lap 1, Hell's Corner, or Griffin's Bend. We're going to see the carnage. There'll be a little bit at the cutting, and I'm sure somebody's going to slap the wall at the top of McPhillamy Park on the opening laps of this race. Damage is turned on, so there's a lot on the line here. You just want to keep your nose clean. Stay out of it. Jonas Sita has gotten out of the car. He's decided not even to set a lap here. He's just going to rock around on the 2-minute 32 that he has in time to start 25th on the grid. And he's going to hope to survive the opening lap knife fight here at Bathurst. Is this first 6 and a bit kilometres of racing in our half an hour tonight is surely going to be the most exciting. And from then, I think the field will be spread all around Bathurst as we bring it home for the remaining 27.5 minutes of racing. We are 4 minutes to go in qualifying. Alexani goes through for another lap. He has not been able to better his time. Still on a 2:02.843. We'll turn on the splits and pick up with a few others. Currently sitting behind him, Cameron Edwards in V-Race 1, coming down the Conrod Straight. We'll jump outside the cars and we'll follow on as Cameron tries to close the 1 second gap. He's been dropped to 3rd by Julesy in the BMW. Of all people, professional Hyundai Sexo Cup driver Julesy. Oh my God, that BMW has seen better days. That thing's copped some damage, but he has managed to park at 2nd. Got a 2:03.968. Still 1.1 seconds off the back of Alexani as he comes out of Griffin's Bend. And trying to run a lap, and you can see it is bobbling and hobbling its way around the track, getting a little bit crossed up towards the cutting. And on the way out towards Quarry Corner, this is 5 and 6 heading up the hill towards Reed Park now. iconic actions, an iconic place of Australian motorsports history through Reed Park. And again, as he just brushes the wall through Frog Hollow and Solomon Park, across the McPhillamy and the run towards Skyline. Taps across the left, pulls it across hard on the brakes. Try not to grab too much of the curb. There was a BMW or someone stuffed into the wall there at the bottom of Skyline. Into the S's and the dipper. And the run across the Forest Elbow. Trying to tuck it in. Trying to get on the power as early as he can to run it down the line. We are 2 minutes and 15 left in qualifying for the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT3 Series, round number 3 from RaceKraft Simulations. We have people joining in from home, we have people joining in from V-Race, and everyone jumping in for a 25-car field that is going to be absolutely monster tonight. Pro Sim driver turned Hyundai XL Cup driver Alex Newton is in the field. He's 5th at the moment on a 2:05.19. Jordan Diabo into the 6th spot. Josh Cochran into 7, Nick Cochran in 8, Tom Hamlin in 9, Andrew Lachlan rounds out your 10, Julian Ung into the 11th spot, Ray Ray in 12, Brody Cullen in the back room, in the build room at RaceKraft Simulation. He's in the 13th spot. We'll try and find people on track here from Benno in 14, Cade Bell 15, Jackson Callow, the youngster in the Hyundai XL Cup Series here in Western Australia. He's in the 15th spot. Now just getting dropped off the 16. Excuse me for the hiccups. John Lee into the 17th spot for the V-Race 3 and V-Race 2 machines. Dexy in the 20, V-Race 5 in 21. I'll have to find out who KP is. Riley, who's KP? Yeah. Kenny Pryor. Ah, Kenny Pryor joining in. He's in 22nd at the moment. Dave Fleet in 23rd. Smash and New, we decided, was called Blake in 24th spot, and Jonah taking the strategy call in P25 with 40 seconds left in qualifying. We're going to pick up with Alex Newton to bring us home here for the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT3 Round 3 from Bathurst in qualifying.
On the track. That's the hard thing, trying to find clean air.
That is a wrap on qualifying here at RaceKraft Simulations. Let's check out the lap times. Alexani on the pole with a 2:02. 8:43 for Zani. Anthony Julesy Jewel into the 2nd spot here on a 2:03.96. Cameron Edwards with a 2:03.99. Alex Newton goes P4 with a 2:04.46. The 9 car goes to a 2:04.997 to claim P5. Jordan Diabo goes P6 with a 2:05.34 from Josh Cochran on a 2:05.71. From Nick Cochran on a 2:05.79. The Cochran boys getting nice and close here. Tommy Hallett into the 9th spot from Andrew Lachlan, rounding out your top 10. Julian Ung in the 11th spot from Ray Ray in the 12. Brody Cullen in 13. Benno in 14, Cade Bell in 15, with Jackson Callow, John Lee, V-Race 2, Dexy in V-Race 3, rounding out your top 20 as I lose everyone from track. And that means we are getting ready to go racing in just a couple of moments. Sit tight, grab yourself a beverage, and enjoy the action that is to come from the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT3 Championship, Round 3 here in Bathurst. The magic continue button has been pressed, and that means we are ready to go racing. We're going to pull things up and see if we can pull back and catch this race. We are going to be set for a huge 30 minutes. Riley, can you help him with the black screen, please? Just set the play area on his VR. Sorry for that, folks. This is going to be a monster race here. 30 minutes of racing.
Do I have time to go for a week? Yeah, where are you pants? Okay.
You don't have time. Gotta press start.
I can't get in.
Press start. Riley, you gotta help him.
Fucking meow. I can't get in. It's not options. Yeah, I can't push start either. Oh, girl. You want to click exit?
Here we go. Bathurst is about to come to life. For the SRT Trackmasters Academy, we are away. Julesy with a pretty decent start, but Alexani's going to get away better. He's going to try and point to the inside of the Porsche as the 9 car has gotten underneath it. Julesy slots into third at Hell's Corner. We'll go back through the field, and it looks like we are all making it around Hell's. Relatively clean to start things off. Following the field up towards Griffiths Bend. For the first time, under the Fanatec Bridge and the run down the hill, Zani is your leader in this early stage at Bathurst. He gets into Griffin's Bend nice and tidy. No surprises there as the rest of the field comes pouring on by. We'll take a look back. It's a little scruffy as we keep jolting back through the field. But we get all out of Griffin's Bend nice and clean as well into the cutting and follow them up the hill on the run towards Quarry Corner. A couple of people getting caught up in the fence already here. It looks like Josh Cochran getting caught up. He's already missing a rear wing. That's going to not help him as he feeds another Porsche to the wall and goes slapping across. It's starting to happen. It's all starting to get wild as they head across the top end of the track and there's Porsches flying everywhere. We'll pick up with Zani though. He is bolting already as he comes down out of Skyline through the S's and the Dipper on the run towards Forest Elbow for the opening lap. Josh Cochran, I think, is having an absolute shocker. He's fallen all the way through the field and he is struggling down in 18th. And everyone is caught up. There is someone else caught up there going down. That's Nick Cochran getting caught up. Nick Cochran goes to the back and oh no. Nick is caught up there. KP and V-Race3 getting caught up as well. And they are all getting stuck. We'll pick up at the pointy end of the field once again. They will grab Julesy through the chase on this opening lap of racing. Chasing the 9 car through the second spot who just drops it off into the grass but manages to regain composure and hold on to second. Alexani will lead lap 1 and Mount Panorama here for the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT3 Championship round number 3 from RaceKraft Simulations. From 9 and Julesy, second and third. Cameron Edwards back there in the 4th spot as they come pouring out of Hell's Corner. You can see Edwards back there in the grey McLaren having a run in 4th. Jordan Diablo in the blue McLaren back there in P5. Had himself a pretty decent run at Jerez a few weeks ago. Alex Newton there into the 6th spot in the digital camo McLaren. It's a McLaren fest here in Bathurst. Tom Hamlet into the 7th spot from Ray in the 8 Jackson Callow 9. Brody Cullen rounding out your top 10 in the Porsche. He's managed to keep his motors relatively clean. You can see a little bit of damage on the front end there as he comes out of Griffin's Bend. Man, oh man, this opening lap of racing and what everyone at home doesn't get to see is the absolute chaos that ensues in the room here at RaceKraft Simulations, that everyone is trying to wrestle the imaginary octopus behind their simulator wheel and absolutely screaming as everyone's having a race of their own at the moment. We are a long way to go though here at Bathurst as we follow Brody Cullen. He's probably the only one who's outside of the all the chaos here in the main room at RaceKraft Simulation. He's in the build room on the ancillary rig, the 11th rig, like the 11th man on the team. He's sitting in the back room and enjoying himself at the moment. He currently P10 from Kate Bell behind in the 11th spot. Let's grab Kate here as he runs the orange McLaren, just holding off Julian who's down there in RK7. The back end of the room, or right next to the front entrance. And John Lee into 13th. Look at this man go. In the BMW, he's going to try and look up the inside and he's going to go side by side. We actually grabbed the wrong car. That sent us to Julesy for some reason. I can't even grab John. So that was Julesy putting pressure on 9. With Cameron Edwards right behind them. And Tom Hamlin has found himself in trouble. He's dropped down the order to the 10th spot as Julesy continues to attack the 9 car. Having a little look up the inside in the Hell's Corner. Meanwhile, Alexani is GORN gone out front. 4.5 seconds a gap for Zani. But the battle here for second, we're going to stay with this. 9, Julesy and Cameron Edwards charging up towards Griffin's Bend, up the mountain straight. See Julesy pulling out, not to challenge the 9 car of the Porsche, but to cover off an inside run from Cameron Edwards as the Porsche runs it all the way out to the rubber strip. They head towards the cutting. The moans and groans are starting to pour out across the room as everyone's races start to unfold as they spin out by themselves or get tagged up by a fellow competitor. It's a hard track to race on, the old Mount Panorama circuit. And I'm sure things are going to develop even further as we progress through the race. We'll bring you a 10-minute race update as we get into it. As Julesy just runs it up against the wall at Solomon Park before he came across McPhillamy. He didn't lose any time out of it. was lucky enough to keep it under control as they come on the brakes down through the skyline. Almost tagging the back of the Porsche. He's going to rub him up and go to the outside as they go through the right-hander. The run towards the dipper, and he's going feeding it up the inside. He's going to be on the inside line at Forest Elbow. He's going to go racing with him. They're going to go side by side. And he loses out. Jewel having a great battle here. Stories developing already though. Nick Cochran is out after a mishap down at the pit lane entry, was somehow backwards across the finish line and unfortunately got disqualified by the system. So Nick Cochran is out of running here. Jonah Sita is having his own troubles. We'll pick up with Jonah down the order. He's currently 22nd and having an absolute horrid time because that looks severely broken for the McLaren. So Jonah having a rough one here. We'll pick up Alex Newton currently in the 5th spot, and it's the McLaren just jumping out of the way there, one of the McLaren boys trying to get out of the way. Jackson Callow right behind him. Jackson's having himself a great little race here. Coming off a fun run last week in the BMW E30 series where we took them to the Nürburgring sprint circuit. Jackson having a run of his own here. At the moment, into 6th, just in front of Jordan Diable. With Ray into the 8th spot. John Lee in P9. John Lee into P9. The main man is proving that he doesn't need any practice to get it done. He'll figure it out come race time. And he is getting it done at the moment. Just proving, trying to survive across the line. Showing 9th in the order on my screen right now. Tommy Hamlet back there in the 10th spot, trying to chase him down. Between them is about 3 seconds as we follow Tom heading across the top out of Frog Hollow. The dip down through Solomon Park. The run up towards McPhillamy as he crests the hill here, right at the entry point. That's McPhillamy on the run towards Skyline now. And it dips back down the hill through Skyline, on the brakes into the S's. And now the dipper where you just completely lose all feeling of the road from underneath you. And onto the power, driving through the fast left and right sections before we pull it over to the right-hand side and into Forest Elbow. Tom Hamlet on a mission as that was Jonah Sita he just went past in the ailing McLaren behind him who failed to get his damage repaired. Tom Hamlet holding on to the 10th spot. We'll have a lap with our race leader at the moment, Alex Zani, as he makes his way up Mountain Straight. As the race is starting to unfold, we are 21 minutes and 20 seconds to go in this one so far, and we have already lost 2, maybe 3 even more competitors from the race here, as we had a stacked field running. But they are starting to drop like flies. They're checking off your running order, and we'll scroll through really quickly. Jonah Sita still showing in 24th, but we have lost 2, at least I know. We follow along with Alexani, 7.3 seconds up on 9 at the moment. Cameron Edwards having a solid drive into 3rd, but he's got a battle on his hands here with Julesy, trying to put the pressure on and stay with him here. These two love having a battle of their own. Cameron Edwards unfortunately came a cropper at the last GT3 round. And Jerez got caught up in a late race battle with Aaron Gray, unfortunately putting them both out of contention to challenge in the top 3 in that one. But this time, Cameron finds himself racing with Julesy for the podium, with Alex Newton back there in the 5 spot, Raymond Garno, John Lee, Jordan Diable, Tommy Hamlin, and Brody Cullen. Rounding out your top 10 right now. That is 10 minutes down, 20 minutes to go from Mountain Panorama Circuit here at RaceKraft Simulations for the SRT Track Masters Academy GT3 Championship, round number 3. picking them up as they keep on rolling through here. Approaching the halfway point, and the race is unfolding even further. Alex Zani clearing out from the field now. 10.8 seconds is the lead that Zani has as he charges up Mountain Straight once again. He's lapping in the 205s as the fuel load starts to burn off, but the tyre deg starts to set in. He's maintaining a pretty solid cadence at the moment, and no one has been able to match him on lap speed so far. Cameron Edwards behind him in second. 10.8 seconds adrift, coming up behind one of the very severely damaged Porsches as they charge up towards Griffin's Bend. Behind him is Anthony Jewell. He's lost out, the 9 car lost out by about 5 seconds now. Julesie's dropped off to the 4 spot. The 9 car found trouble, it looks like. Edwards has found himself into second. Julesie has not been able to stay with him here. He is another couple of seconds further back down the road. Alex Newton into the 5 spot here. He's about 5 seconds adrift of Julesie. And Newton keeping a clean and straight car though. That's a very, very good attribute for Alex here. And one that he's pretty solid, well known for doing. He's keeping his nose clean and having a run with it here. Behind him is, I can't even tell you who's behind him. It's not Cameron Edwards, but they were looking racy as they were on track and pushing him along here. Jordan Diablo there into the 6th spot. Tommy Hamlin into P7 on screen right now in the McLaren colours. John Lee in the 8th spot, getting faster and moving up the order here. Brody Cullen in a beaten and battered Porsche. He's holding down P9 from the V-Race 5 entry in the Porsche, rounding out your top 10. V-Race 3 in the 11th spot from Cade Bell, keeping his nose relatively clean in P12. Andrew Lachlan in the 13th spot. I can't grab Lachlan on camera here. Smashing New Blake looking a bit worse for wear in the BMW here from Benno in the 15. Jackson Callow, he's the racy one that's pushing up on the back of Alex Newton, but he looks like to have dropped off into the 16th spot. So he was running really solid about 5 minutes ago, but has dropped right off the field. He's diving up the inside and trying to push forward as he grabs a bit too much of the inside curbing and a bit of grass to boot. Go back to KP in the 17th spot. Josh Cochran in the 18 from Julian in the 19. V-Race 2 in 20 in the pit lane, and Jonah's gotten back out on track with his car repaired, according. Yes, he's back out and running, so Jonah Sita getting back up and running after spending about 4 minutes in the pit lane. So he is a long way down. You can see he had a 4-minute 2 lap time that he had, and we are left with 21 drivers into the second half of the race. As Jonah has himself a nice clean and repaired car. Jonah's battling with on track. That would be Cade Bell right now. So Cade Bell in 12th and Jonah in 21st, having a little battle on track between themselves as they come out of Forest Elbow and onto Conrod Straight once again. We are 14 minutes and 15 seconds to go here in the main event for the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT3 Championship from Mount Panorama Circuit here at RaceKraft Simulations, the Automobilista 2 platform. Alex Zani leads the way down to a 205.02 now. Cameron Edwards behind by 12.8 seconds, down to a 205.6 from 9 in the 3rd spot. Julesie right behind in P4. We're going to stick with this battle and bring it home for the next couple of minutes as we hit the final 10 minutes of racing here from RaceKraft Simulations. we leave him on camera by himself for a little while, Julesy spins it by himself and unfortunately loses himself some more time. He's lucky in the fact that Alex Newton is a few seconds further back down the road, but this is hurting Julesy as you can see Newton approaching Reed Park now. Julesy just a little bit further up the road as he makes the run towards McPhillamy Park. Over the crest and diving into the left-hander. They're fighting it out as Alexani somehow continues to get faster. Down to a 2:04.7 now as he comes past one of the lapped cars of the Porsches. Down Conrod Straight and into the chase. We are 11 minutes and 30 to go in this one for the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT3 Championship. The Porsche loses it and loops it behind Alec, who's staying cool, calm and collected. This is what happens when you qualify on pole. You keep your nose clean, you get out front, you put the work in, and to the victor goes the spoils. As he opens up an almost 13-second lead over Cameron Edwards into the second spot. We'll check in on your full results. With our main timing screen here, Zani in first, Cameron Edwards in second, from 9 in third. Jules is still holding on to that 4 spot here from Alex Newton, rounding out your top 5. Jordan, Johnny Lee up to the 7th spot. Tom Hamlet into 8 from Brody Cullen and V-Race 5 rounding out your top 10. V-Race 3 and Cade Bell in 11 and 12 from Lockie, Blake and Benno rounding out your 15. Then Kenny P, Josh Cochran and Jen Callow, V-Race 2 and Jonas Sita. The 20 drivers remaining in the race as we started with over 25 running the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT3 Championship Round 3 from Mount Panorama. Alec finding his way past a stricken and very much damaged Porsche as they head up towards Square Corner and out of Reed Park now. Jumping through Frog Hollow, across Solomon Park and on the run into McPhillamy before the sprint down the hill into Skyline. Looking out across the countryside as he dive on the brakes and think about it, doing things other than the great scenery on offer here at Mount Panorama. Through the dip up, and he'll come running out towards Forest Elbow here. Trying to keep it under control. Last time across it was a 2:06.1 for Alec. Lost himself a bit of pace. Still only lost a couple of tenths of a second over Cameron Edwards back there in the second spot. It's now 13.2 seconds the gap with 9 minutes and 35 to go. Checking in with Tom Hamlin here. He's got a very much battered and bruised McLaren as he makes his way towards McPhillamy Park. And having a run down towards Skyline now. I wonder if it really affects the aero when the front end is stoved in like an old cardboard box cart as he comes down through Skyline into the S's. Through the dipper now, the front end falls away from you on the run towards Forest Elbow. Currently in the 8th spot, he's 2.5 seconds, no, 1.5 seconds off the back of John Lee. We'll see John going down Conrod Straight, and in the background there's Tom Hamlet trying to chase him down as they make the run towards the chase. When they go on board with Johnny Lee for a moment here, and get the sights and sounds of what it's like inside the Porsche. Oh, that looks a bit vibrating. John Lee rattling his way down the hill in towards the chase. Sporting a couple of issues with the car as we are 8 minutes and 15 remaining. It looks like we've lost Julian King out of the contention of race, so we're down to just 19 cars left in this one. At Mount Panorama, as Johnny Lee powers down the main straight towards Hell Corner, hard on the brakes, down through the gears. Grab a little bit of curving on the inside. Johnny is sitting 7 seconds off the back of Jordan Diablo at the moment, holding on to a 1.5 second advantage over Tommy Hamlin in the 8th spot. We'll go further forward, we'll grab a hold of Jordan for a moment and go inside what it looks like inside the McLaren on the way out of Griffin's Bend, on the brakes up into the cutting. Trying to squeeze on the power and keep the rear wheels in check so you don't excite them as you make the run up towards Quarry Corner. It's blind across the top here. You don't know how far the car's going to move across to the inside wall as you run out of Reed Park through Frog Hollow. Trying to slap the outside wall at Solomon Park and then blind entry as you turn in before the top of the crest at McPhillamy. On the brakes, down through the gears again at Skyline. This is where you can just take a moment to compose yourself if you're not too late on the brakes. Keep it collected into the dipper, sorry. Now on this fast run, where you grab the brakes a lot earlier than you think you have to tuck it across to the right-hand side here at Forest Elbow. And Jordan Diable onto Conrod Straight now, can take a moment to breathe and rest before he gets set to rocket through the chase at 270 kilometers per hour. Topping out as they turn into the bottom of the chase here today. Follow along here, just nudging 270, 4 k's an hour on the entry to the chase. On the brakes, down towards turn 21 here. Dip it down third, maybe second gear if you're taking the chances. Squeezing on the power again through the High-Tech Oils Bridge. Onto the brakes at Murray's Corner. To finish off the lap on a high note, a little bit wider the curbing there as we are 6 minutes to go. And that is a lap with Jordan Diable. Ahead of him at the moment is Alex Newton, some 13 seconds up the road. Alex is heading up the mountain straight right now. We go back outside the cars. It's almost exited the session. That would have been very, very bad. The joys of running broadcasting with a trackpad as your controller tonight. Alex Newton having a great run at the moment to stay clean and inside the top 5. There is not a single mark on that car. Alex has done very well for himself to keep it like that through this race as we are 5 minutes and 20 from home. He sits 6 seconds, almost 7 seconds off the back of Anthony Jewell, holding down the 4 spot, trying to close up a 4.5 second deficit to the back of 9 to be on the podium. Four minutes left to go here for the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT3 Championship. One final run through the order. Alex Zani leads away with 16 seconds in hand over Cameron Edwards on screen in second. They're keeping it nice and clean out front. Julesy manages to get himself back up into the third spot here from Alex Newton into P4. Jordan Diable having a lonely drive there in P5. Johnny Lee now up to the 6th spot. An amazing run for Johnny tonight here at Mount Panorama. Tommy Hamlet into P7. The 9 car is in the pits getting repaired. What a heartbreak to be happening 3.5 minutes from the end here. V-Race 5 of John Fisher in the Porsche 911 GT3 coming down through the chase. He holds down P9 at the moment from V-Race 3 of Barry Punter just behind him in the matching Porsche as well. Kate Bell in the 11th spot. Coming down Conrod Straight, just into the chase now from Lockie in P12. Brody Cullen in the 13th spot, running as Jules' teammate tonight with Benno in P14. Blake in Smash and New holds down P15 from Josh Cochran in the Porsche in the 16th spot. V-Race 2 of Vaughan Brewer jumping in a V-Race machine tonight, holding on to P17. Kenny Pryor sands a front bar and a rear wing on his Porsche. That looks absolutely horrific to get around the track here. Holds on to P18. And Jonah Sita in his repaired McLaren. Rounding out your 19 cars. Still running in the order here. We'll go back towards the pointy end. The only battle that's really getting me excited at the moment between Johnny Lee and Tom Hamlet. There is 7 seconds between them as John comes down towards Forest Elbow once again. He's going to get the end of this lap and probably one more as Alex Zani on the track. is going into the cutting. He is going to finish this lap and get one more. So there might actually be 2 more laps left in it. And 2 more laps for John to try and hang on to the Porsche and grab a 6th spot tonight. He has 9.8 seconds to make up to the back of Jordan Diable, who's having a very, very lonely drive there in P5. Jordan is some 17 seconds off the back of Alex Newton, 10 seconds up the road from John Lee, with nobody around him at all. At the very least, he won't get punted out of the remainder of the race, but he is still going to hang on to try and finish in P5. Johnny Lee back there in the 6th spot with a 9-second advantage over Tom Hamlin in P7. The 9 car getting back out on track after taking repairs will have to settle in for the 8th spot from V-Race 5. Currently holding on to P9 for John Fisher. V-Race 3 of Barry Punter in the 10th spot. We are 1 minute and 10 to go. Alex Zani on screen, coming down towards the chase once again. He's going to make it through to start his final lap of the race here. In the number 4 McLaren 720S GT3. Really doesn't look like it has a very big splitter on the front, but it is one of the most pointy cars in the lineup for GT3s within the Automobilista 2 platform as he comes down the line to start his final lap with 43, 42, 41 seconds left on the clock for Alex Zani and a 16-second lead over Cameron Edwards. He can't rest just yet and can't take any chances on this final lap of Mount Panorama Circuit. 30 seconds to go on the master clock. Zani charges up Mountain Straight for the final time. A victory lap, if you will, as there's a Porsche running through the grass further back there. That was V-Race 5, I believe, of John Fisher. Through the grass as they come up Mountain Straight. Zani on his run. He's now 19 seconds up as Cameron Edwards is conceding defeat and is going to settle in for second on this final lap of racing. Another 20-something seconds further back, Anthony Julesy Jewell just coming across the line to start his final lap of the race here for the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT3 Championship. Another 7 seconds back to Alex Newton in the 4th spot. 15 seconds further back to Jordan Diable, rounding out your top 5 as he comes down to start his final lap of the circuit here in this half-an-hour sprint race at Mount Panorama Circuit here from Johnny Lee in the 6th spot, Tommy Hamlet in the 7th, 9 in the 8th spot, John Fisher in P10, Cade Bell rounding out your 10th spot. We go to Alex Zani as he brings it into Forest Elbow for the final time. It's going to be a lights the flag effort for this young man on an absolute tear of a run. Zani going to come down Conrod Straight and settle into the fact that he has just dominated the mountain tonight. Pole position. It's going to be the fastest lap of the race, I believe, and will end up claiming the win if he hangs on to it through these last few corners. So 2:04.187, his fastest lap of the race here at Mount Panorama Circuit. Out of the chase for the final time, and the run down the hill towards Murray's Corner, past the Bathurst International Hotel, and onto the main straight. Alex Zani is your winner tonight for the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT3 Series from Mount Panorama. Zani wins at Bathurst. For round 3 of the GT3 Series, Cameron Edwards will come down the line and bring it on for second as he makes his run towards Murray's Corner for the final time. Cameron Edwards will hang on for second here. A great recovery following last round of the GT3 Championship. Edwards home in second. Anthony Julesy Jewell, professional Hyundai Sexcel driver, into the 3rd spot to bring it out of Murray's Corner for the final time. To have a run at the line to finish 3rd. Alex Newton home in 4th as everyone goes crashing off at the end of the main straight just to finish things off in style. Newton ends up P4 in this one to wrap things up here at Bathurst. Jordan Diable coming down the line to round out your top 5. Diable down the line in P5. Johnny Lee though, what a drive from John Man into the 6th spot. finish off a solid night for Johnny here. He'll be stoked with that effort to go P6 in this race. Tommy Hamlet coming down towards Murray Corner for the final time. Hamlet will come down the line to finish P7. Couldn't even beat John Lee tonight. The 9 car already parked up and done, so that's everyone else finished up as they're all just causing some carnage down here at Hell's Corner. That is a GT3 graveyard. And that is a wrap. Your winner tonight, Alex Zani, parking things up to celebrate his race win here for the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT3 Championship. That is a wrap from Mount Panorama. My name's Chris Mitchell. It's been a pleasure to be your host this evening from RaceKraft Simulations here. Get involved, get in touch with John Lee, come and have some fun with some GT3 cars and buy yourself some fantastic sim racing gear. From RaceKraft Simulations, we'll see you next time.